Hey everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. Well, I wasn't sure what to call this week's lesson because it's a little bit of Peter Green, there's also some Dave Mason, and there's also some Carlos Santana. I've been listening to all three of those guys, and so anyway, what you got this week was kind of a hybrid of three. Now, I will go back and I will do an individual lesson on Santana. I know I've got a lot of requests for that. And also Dave Mason as well. But I didn't want to just let this one go. I was going to throw it away, and I thought, no, it was too fun. I was having too much fun jamming on it, and I think some of you will really like this kind of retro, mid-70s guitar-driven jam thing. And it's just a lot of fun to do with a jam track. And I've got the jam track in 2 tempos this week, so there's a slower version as well. So if you're newer to guitar, you might want to start with a slower tempo. But anyway, we've got the lesson split into 2 parts. In this video, we're going to take a look at the first part. If you like to watch the second half, which is the lead stuff, so in this video we're going to learn the rhythm. If you like to learn all the lead licks, you're going to want to watch the part 2 video, which you can see at ActiveMelody.com. Just look for EP123. You'll also be able to download the tablature and the jam tracks and have all the other assets that go along with this lesson. So let's go ahead and get started with part 1. Alright, so let's talk through tone settings real quick. I'm playing on the Jimmie Vaughan Signature Series Strat, and I have the pickup selector switch on the middle pickup. I have the tone all the way up, and I have the volume at about 80%, so that's not all the way up. Now what gives this that real vintage sound, this Robin Trower sound? Robin Trower is another one that would be thrown in the mix if I were to say influences on this, but you can hear that phase that's going on, and that's played. This is a new pedal for me, but I love it. It's made by Full Tone, and it's called the Deja Vibe, D-E-J-A-V-I-B-E. And so there's a lot of settings, so I won't go through that on the pedal, but that's what's given that vibe sound. Now, out of the Deja Vibe, I'm going into the Tube Screamer TS-808 pedal, which is an Ibanez pedal. And I have my overdrive, level, and volume all set at about 70%. So that makes it easy, and that's it. And so then I'm going right into the head of the amp, and I have the reverb at about 20 or 30%. So now that we got that out of the way, let's talk to the this rhythm part. So the rhythm on its own sounds like this. This is what we're going to learn in this. And then it switches, so that's the A part, and it switches to the D. Really cool rhythm. It's so much fun to do with a band. If you've got a band, obviously if you don't have a band, you will have the jam track that comes with this lesson, and I'll provide it in 2 tempos, so there's a slower one for those of you that are newer to the guitar. So here's how we're going to start this thing. It really starts on the 5th string, the 5th string, and the 4th string. And what I'm doing is I'm playing the open 5th string, or the open A string, and then on top of that I'm layering the 4th string, and I'm starting here on the 5th fret, and I'm hammering on to the 7th fret, and I use my ring finger for that. And so that's going from the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the 4th string, and I'm playing strings 5 and 4. So you're playing both of these strings at the same time. And that's going to be key to this sound, is letting this 5th string ring out through all of the A part, or the A minor part. This string is always there. You can hear that note. I'm always grabbing that. So in essence, what I'm doing, I'm not playing a single string, I'm playing 2 strings every time you hear, this, like, it sounds like a lead part, but they've got the extra string, which fattens up the sound. Okay, so it's a downstroke to get those 2. Now we're going to do another downstroke. Now watch this. Now we're going to do an upstroke, and then we're going to do a muted downstroke, like that, and then we're going to do another upstroke. And grab those 2 strings again. So let me back that up. I'll do it slowly. So we have downstroke, another downstroke, now an upstroke, muted strum, and an upstroke. So if we put it all together, what we have is, now watch my right hand. You can see it stays in motion just like this the whole time. And that's how I would practice this if I was just getting started with it. It's going to be hard in the beginning to be accurate and try and hit just those 2 strings when your whole hand is in motion there. But what happens is your pick, these fingers kind of know when to jump in and when to jump out, and it happens over time. So the only way you can do it is to practice it, but start it really slowly like this. Okay, so once you can get a little bit of a consistency with that groove, then we're going to introduce two chords, and the first one is an A minor 7 chord. It's really easy to play because the way I'm doing it is I'm just borrowing the first 4 strings here on the 5th fret, and I'm playing strings 5, 4, and 3. I might accidentally hit string 2, but those are the 3 strings that I'm trying to play. Now, normally when you hear this kind of a groove, you would hear a lot of people play the top 3 strings. More of a funk thing, like a James Brown. But if you want to get that vintage, somewhere between Dave Mason and Robin Trower type feel, playing those lower strings, it gives it a different, meatier sound that you don't hear that in music much anymore. At least not in modern music, or pop music, I should say. It has a vintage feel. I don't know if that was just a popular chord arrangement of the day or what, but anyway, that's how I'm doing it. It's just the 5th string, or 5th fret rather, first 4 strings. We're playing strings 5, 4, and 3, and then we're just sliding that up to the 7th fret. So that's the A minor 7th, and this would be a D with an A in the bass. Okay, let me back up, and we'll put all these pieces together now. So we have... Those are downstrokes, by the way. Down, down on the 2 chords. And then we repeat it. Now let's just get that down first. Okay, now the next part is this little run that goes... And for that, I'm doing a pull-off and a hammer-on with my ring finger on the left hand. So it starts here, and what you're going to want to do is put the ring finger on the 7th fret 4th string, and then right behind it, also on the 4th string, put your pointer finger down on the 5th fret, because you're going to be going back and forth between these 2 frets. So it starts with this pull off. So we do a pick, do a pull off with this finger, and then do a hammer on to the 7th fret 5th string. And then we're going to do an upstroke playing the 5th fret 4th string. So we have, and then watch this. We're going to slide from, as soon as we pick that 7th fret 5th string, we're going to slide it down to the 5th fret. And then we're going to conclude on the 3rd fret 5th string. So we have... Okay, so all together, you got to keep it in motion. And that's about the tempo, roughly. So don't try and do it up to normal tempo when you're just getting started. Grab that slower jam track and try filling it in there first. Okay, so that's the A part. Now the good news is when we go to the D part of the song, it's very much the same. So now instead of playing between strings 5 and 4, we're going to be playing between strings 4 and 3, but we're going to be doing the same fingerings with our left hand. Okay, the only difference is though the chords. Now remember we had the A minor 7. Now we're going to come up and play a D minor chord and an E minor chord, just the top 3 strings of it. So anyway, we'll start here. We're going to play between strings 4 and 3, and it's the same thing with the left hand. So I'm not going to go over those fingerings. Same as what we did before. The chord, however, we're going to keep our ring finger down on the 7th fret 3rd string. Our middle finger goes down on the 6th fret 2nd string, and our pointer finger goes down on the 5th fret 1st string, so that we can play those top 3 strings, and that's the top part of a D minor. And then we just take that same chord shape, and slide it up 2 frets, and that'll give us an E minor. So when we put that together, now we do the same little run. It's exactly the same place, it's just up a set of strings. There was the first one, here's the second one. So you can see it starts here on the 3rd fret, or I'm sorry, the 3rd string, 7th fret. Do the pull off, hammer on, and then we're going to slide it from 7 down to 5 just like we did before, but we're on the 4th string, I'm sorry, 4th string here. That's the 4th string. Remember before that the slide was on the 5th string. So let's do the D part. Okay, so we play through the D part twice. And then I come down for this little turnaround chord and play, it's an E sharp 7/9 chord. The Hendrix chord, a lot of people refer to it. But let me show you how to make that chord. I start by hitting that low E string, which is just the open E, open 6th string. And then we make a shape here on the 7th fret with our middle finger. And the way that you can think of getting to this chord easy is if you know how to make a D7th shape down in 1st position, it's that same shape with these 3 fingers. The only difference is you're putting your middle finger here on the 7th fret. So it sounds like that. You can see that finger there, that finger there, and then this finger here. Now the difference is, now what makes it that E sharp 7/9 is to put your pinky down on the 8th fret 2nd string. You're out throwing that note in there. It gives it a kind of a weird feel. And you can actually play all 6 strings if you want. But that's that chord. So that's how I come to it. I just define it by hitting the low E note and then strum the chord. And then we're right in position to go right back to the A part of it. So that's the rhythm for this. If you're not a premium member and you don't have the jam track and you want to practice this, set a metronome, or at minimum tap your foot, but try setting a metronome to a slower tempo so you can get that groove going. And that'll help you with it. Now let me play through this whole thing one more time. I'll just do a slow version through it, and at least you'll have this as a reference. And then we'll move on to part 2, and part 2 is where we'll get into all the lead stuff that goes on top of it. Okay, so here we go. Slow walkthrough. I botched that one chord, the E chord, but you get the point of it. So that's the rhythm part. I'll see you in part 2 for the lead.